On his way to Vietnam, this man was caught by the Nigerian airport security trying to do something very sinister.
What is your name, sir?
Chibike, sir.
Okay. Chibike, where are you traveling to? Okay. What is taking you to Vietnam?
Business. I want to open a new shop.
Okay. Which airline are you traveling on? Okay. Which airline are you traveling on? Okay. Is this your bag?
Yeah, but here now is my bag.
He claimed he was going to Vietnam to start a business for his wife, which required him to get some new bags.
As I was coming out of my house, I saw that I don't have some people to do my clothes. So I asked somebody to do it. So the person got the bag. Where I was trying to stay in Anambra Airport. So I stopped by and he gave me this. And I arranged my clothes inside.
After opening up a closed compartment in the bag, a pack of hard drug was discovered. You won't believe what was found in this pack of air fresheners at a Nigerian airport. The hard drug was wrapped in foil and disguised to be part of the air freshener, but the airport security were smart enough to find it. Airport security found this man acting suspicious and decided to check him. What they found on him is beyond what they could imagine.
Que si al momento de que esto figura es un positivo para prioridad.
After they noticed him acting suspicious, he tried running away when he realized they were onto him. About 23 kilograms of cocaine was found on him. Suspected to be ecstasy. At Mumbai Airport, a routine security check turned into a surprising discovery when officials checked a woman's shoes. A search of her shoes revealed an unusual hiding spot for 2 kilograms of concealed cocaine. In a routine inspection at Miami International Airport, Customs and Border Patrol agents checked a suspicious package going to Australia from Panama.
And it says sporting goods equipment and 2 fans. I don't see the reason to send fans. They got them everywhere. This package is coming from a source country, Trinidad and Tobago, and it's going to a demand country, Australia. The value is very high over there for any type of narcotic. Something doesn't look right. It seems like cheap plastic, but in the image it looks too thick.
As they carefully examined the contents, a suspicious fan was found, and upon closer inspection, agents discovered a hidden compartment within the fan, concealing narcotics.
That's not supposed to be there. That's why it looks thicker in the X-ray machine. They usually glue them in when they're not hard to pop off. Try to see if we can peel back a little bit of it so we can see what's under it. And whatever it is, it's wrapped in aluminum foil. Now, see, it's loaded.
On September 29th, a routine security check at Mumbai airport turned into a major bust when customs officials checked a passenger's footwear. It took a while for the sandals to be cut open, but afterwards it was revealed to have a cleverly crafted hidden cavity, concealing 490 grams of cocaine worth 4.9 crore rupees. Returning from Punta Cana on June 5, 2022, a routine trip to the baggage claim turned into a shocking scene. As travelers waited for their luggage, customs officials swooped in, seizing 6 suitcases packed with pounds of cannabis. It's unsure how the bags got through security.
Airports are designed for travel, but for some, they become scenes of crime and deception. In today's video, we uncover the audacious tactics used by those who thought they could outsmart security. From cunning disguises to nerve-wracking encounters, these are the 35 most suspicious drug mules caught by airport security. Get ready to witness the lengths some will go to in order to smuggle their secrets. Sometime in 2024, around 9:20 a.m., the CCTV control room at Sydney Airport in Australia spotted a man behaving strangely. As he got closer to the entry gate, he looked tense. He did not go straight to a customs officer with his visa. Instead, he waited behind a wall, almost as if he was trying to take his time.
Proceed straight up to a customs officer with his passport. He sort of hung around the back of the hall.
This caught the attention of the control room staff, who decided to bring him in for questioning.
Officers suspect that he's not telling them the truth and decide to take him aside for further questioning.
We questioned him a little bit further about what his plans were, what he wanted.
In the questioning room, they found kilos of chocolate and alcohol in his suitcase, not clothes or personal items. Authorities suspected him more due to his nervousness. The Australian government chose to look into it further because they had seen cases like this before.
What was in the boxes that we were smelling?
With the passenger claiming to have no knowledge of the items found, officers will now carry out testing on the contents of the pallets.
When they checked what he was actually carrying, they recovered over 3.6 kilograms of cocaine in 246 packages of chocolate candy. A suspicious incident took place at the airport when security caught a woman traveling from Vietnam to Australia with 4 children. During an X-ray scan, strange items were found in her suitcase. Her conduct appeared suspicious, despite her claim to be innocent.
They have concerns after an initial swab test of some food she is carrying returned a positive result for the prohibited substance.
Okay, so what we'll do...
The woman explained that her luggage only contained cosmetics, creams, shampoos, and some other products she had bought for a friend. However, something didn't seem right.
So we're obviously going to have to test that, and my suspicion is that is and probably a...
Officials found that the packages in her bag held a large amount of ephedrine worth $250,000 after testing them. The drugs were hidden inside sealed packages, which caught officers off guard.
As the container is emptied, it's immediately obvious that it's only half full of hair cream.
Okay, what appears that we've got here is...
They were hidden in such a way that it looked like it was done in a workshop and not as a homemade ploy. Luckily, the sensors picked it up, and the woman was turned over to the police. Everything was going smoothly at an Australian airport, until suddenly, it wasn't. Australian Customs stopped a pregnant woman after what seemed like a regular flight. They became suspicious because she had recently traveled to Nigeria and Ivory Coast, and the gaps in her travel history didn't add up. Her vague plans to stay in a hotel without knowing much about Australia raised further concerns.
Set plans while she was here.
Officers suspect they may be dealing with a possible drug courier.
She's been in Ivory Coast before here, and Nigeria.
Things became even more suspicious when her luggage was scanned. The X-ray showed some hidden items inside, which looked like they could be illegal.
And the image clearly shows two abnormal densities in the lining of the bag.
Judging by the X-ray image, we believe that there may be a concealment there.
After conducting some tests and inspecting the luggage, the officers found around 1.6 kilograms of methamphetamine, valued at approximately $2.3 million on the street.
Powder has been extracted.
A white crystal substance has actually come out of the side of the baggage.
This is taken to be tested with a machine that fires...
They turned her over to the police for investigation and deported her. At an airport in Australia, a young French MMA fighter became a suspect. Before arriving, he had visited Bali. This was his fourth trip to Australia in 2 years. His first visit was on a working holiday visa, but recently, he had been using tourist visas. Authorities questioned how he could afford these frequent trips, especially since he wasn't a professional fighter yet and was still training.
50 denominations, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Officer Tim counts the lot, and it comes to a total of 75.
He had $7,500 cash in his suitcase. He said his parents supported his lifestyle, including his MMA kickboxing career, even though he didn't work.
Doing in Australia?
Yeah, training.
Training?
Yeah.
What sort of training?
MMA.
What is MMA training?
It's mixed martial arts.
The officers inquired about his MMA social media presence, and while going through his phone, they came across a strange message that mentioned grams of something. They thought it might be drugs, but the man explained that it was just about smoking, not drugs.
Yvonne will now confront the passenger with the information they have found.
Who is Omar?
Omar?
Yes, who is Omar? Who is Omar?
His visa was revoked after a while. Concerns about his honesty led the officials to send him back to France. He had been in Australia on a tourist visa for 5 months without doing anything. They also put a 3-year ban on his return to Australia. A tourist was stopped because it looked like his bag was leaking and a powdery material was seen coming from it. This happened when he tried to get his bag after the trip. During a brief X-ray check, something unusual was found in his luggage.
He also has a credit card with Derek's name on it.
So these are yours, but this is your friend's?
When asked about his backpack, things got even more suspicious. He said many of the items belonged to his friend Derek. Checking the bags verified this. He also carried Derek's credit card, which was shocking.
This large suitcase to check for traces of narcotics.
That's a positive for cocaine.
It's a strong...
Further testing revealed ephedrine in the package. They meticulously investigated the bag but found scant amounts of the drug, suggesting a mistake.
The X-ray image of the bag shows some unexplained organic material around the base.
Michael!
Although they had to let him go, he was closely monitored during his 3-day stay in Australia. After that, he returned to where he had come from. From shocking breaches to bizarre incidents, airport security protocols have been put to the test. Get ready to witness the most alarming, astonishing, and cringeworthy moments that will make you question the safety of air travel. Enjoy as we present you the 35 most terrifying airport security moments. A girl recorded an incredible moment at the airport when a celebrity arrived in Seoul. It was Jungkook, a famous South Korean singer and songwriter who stepped off the plane into an electrifying atmosphere. Excitement and chaos filled the air as people rushed forward like a stampede, causing a security issue. It was as if the airport had turned into a scene from a zombie apocalypse movie. Flashes from cameras blinded him. The press and fans crowded around, forming a human wall. Shouts and screams filled the air. He struggled to move, each step a challenge. There was no security in sight. The crowd pushed closer. Then a fan raised a ladder high for a better view. It was complete chaos. A routine airport inspection in Nigeria suddenly turned chilling. Tension rose as agents from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency discovered a mysterious bundle in a traveler's luggage. Check this out. Inside, they found 2 bowls with strange, mysterious items. Alongside ordinary things like soap and a sponge were peculiar, indescribable objects. Anyone would be curious about these strange items. The traveler insisted they were African protection magic, not drugs. Authorities, however, weren't convinced. Wrapped in tied wool, they found something shocking: marijuana. The team was stunned, wondering how this cleverly disguised package slipped through some checkpoints. As seen on the airport's CCTV camera, a security guard sat quietly in the middle of the night when the door suddenly swung open. Though nothing was visible to the camera, the security guard's eyes widened as he attended to a mysterious figure, leaving one to wonder what was really happening. Rising from his seat, the guard approached the ghostly figure that had floated in. Calm and composed, he began asking questions. His voice didn't waver, even though this was far from normal. He gestured toward the entrance, guiding the ghost with a confident hand. The ghost obeyed, drifting forward. Then, defying logic, the guard fetched a wheelchair and gently seated the ghost. He then calmly returned to his post, as if nothing unusual had happened. On March 31, 2023, tensions soared at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, Nigeria. On a Lagos-bound flight, a lone supporter of Peter Obi, the Labour Party's presidential candidate, caused a stir. Just before takeoff, the man stood up and declared that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president-elect, must never be sworn in.
So you need to leave the plane. You need to leave. You're a security threat. You need to leave. You need to leave the plane.
Passengers were shocked by a man's outburst on a 6 p.m. flight. The man, nearly naked, began shouting about obedience, supporters of his favorite political candidate, and claimed he was being mistreated. His shouts caused a commotion, and security officers had to restrain and remove him from the plane. The incident delayed the flight by over an hour. Passengers watched in shocked silence, confused whispers spreading around. No one stepped forward to help. The man's desperate calls were ignored and he was left struggling alone. Finally, security detained him, leaving the terminal filled with unanswered questions. Caught on surveillance camera, TSA agents at Miami International Airport had a shocking secret. Footage from June 29th shows agents Josue Gonzalez and Liberius Williams in the act. Williams, standing by the conveyor belt, sneaks his hand into a bag and slips something into his pocket. Moments later, Gonzalez removes a wallet from a purse and hides it away. These weren't isolated incidents. Passengers at Security Checkpoint E had been reporting thefts, leading to an investigation. The scheme was simple: distract travelers and steal cash from their luggage. One unlucky passenger lost $600. In July, Gonzalez, Williams, and another agent named Elizabeth Fooster were arrested. Charges against Fooster were later dropped. Gonzalez participated in a state program doing community service and repaying what was owed. Williams, however, did not qualify for the program and went to trial. These TSA agents, once trusted, are now facing consequences for their actions, caught by the very cameras they were supposed to monitor.
Is taken from the lining of the
suitcase. They found that he was in a...
El perro identifica algún olor.
This footage shows Jennifer Talbot, a 43-year-old from Utah, cradling a baby who, according to the Philippines police, she was trying to smuggle out of the country. The baby, just 6 days old, had no travel documents. Talbot had hidden the baby in a sling, successfully clearing immigration without declaring the infant. However, airline staff became suspicious when they noticed the sling wasn't worn correctly, leading to her arrest.
Upright position, but then it was not carried that way. So there was really an intention to conceal and to sneak out the baby.
Talbot was charged with human trafficking and now faces a potential life sentence in the Philippines. Authorities discovered that she met the baby's biological mother, identified as Mary Chris Dulap, online. Dulap claimed she wanted to give the baby up for adoption. Still, both she and the unnamed biological father are now facing human trafficking charges as well.
Police, she wanted to offer her baby up for adoption, but now she is facing charges for human trafficking along with the unnamed biological father.
The baby has been handed over to welfare authorities. Talbot, who has 5 children of her own, is seeking help from the U.S. Embassy, which confirmed she has no criminal history in the U.S. However, this case could take years to resolve, and if convicted, she may spend her life in a Philippine prison.
U.S., but this case may take years to resolve. And you guys, if she's convicted, she faces a possible life sentence, which would be served in the Philippines, but it could take years for this to be resolved.
In a similar case, A 5-month-old baby was kidnapped and taken from Karachi to Dubai, hidden inside a carry bag. Luckily, the baby was discovered at Dubai airport and found unharmed. In 2018, a Colombian man stood out at Barcelona airport with an enormous wig that was hard to ignore. He thought he could trick airport security by hiding over a pound of cocaine worth $34,000 beneath his wig. Airport security quickly became suspicious, and then a brief search uncovered the hidden stash of cocaine skillfully concealed under his silly hairstyle.
Man tried to sweep a pound of cocaine under the rug. And by rug, we mean the one on his head, his toupee. Yeah, he stuck out like a sore thumb, so cops quickly arrested.
In 2010, at Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok, a woman traveling to Iran thought she could outsmart airport security by hiding a 3-month-old tiger cub in her luggage. The cub, sedated and placed among stuffed toy tigers, was meant to blend in with the toys. She likely believed no one would notice the difference between the real tiger and the toys, but she was wrong. Airport security grew suspicious because of her suitcase's unusual weight and shape, leading to further inspection. Officers were shocked when they opened the suitcase and found the tiny tiger cub. The woman claimed she had no idea what was in her luggage, but authorities didn't believe her. She was arrested and faced Thailand's tough penalties for wildlife smuggling, which included heavy fines and possible prison time.
Anyone looking through it. The woman was arrested before boarding her flight. The cub, thought to be about 3 months old, has gone to a wildlife conservation centre in Bangkok.
In one of the strangest smuggling attempts ever, TSA agents at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport found something truly surprising: a handgun hidden inside a raw chicken. On September 27, 2022, a traveler heading to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, thought they could sneak a firearm past security by placing it inside a frozen baking hen. The gun was wrapped in plastic or paper and carefully tucked inside a Kikeri Quirch brand chicken. However, this plan didn't stand a chance against modern security measures. TSA agents quickly discovered the weapon during their routine screening.
Passenger busted for trying to conceal a gun from TSA in a really unsafe and unusual way. TSA posted a picture on Instagram of the weapon inside a raw.
It seemed like a regular morning at Los Angeles International Airport, until officers made a shocking discovery hidden in plain sight. A traveler casually tried to go through security while carrying candy bags, but what looked like harmless snacks were much more dangerous. Inside wrappers for Skittles, Whoppers, and Sweethearts were 12,000 fentanyl pills, one of the most potent synthetic opioids. The suspect quickly ran away before being caught, but authorities have identified the individual, and an investigation is underway.
The suspect tried to go through TSA screening with several bags of candy and snacks. The suspect got away before authorities could actually make an arrest.
At a Colombian airport, a woman on her way to Madrid, Spain, was stopped after airport security scanners detected suspicious objects hidden in her hairstyle. Authorities decided to detain her for a more detailed inspection.
Police say when both women went through airport security, scanners showed foreign objects hidden in their big hairstyles.
Security officers discovered a vial concealed in her hair extensions during the search. When they opened it and tested the contents, they found it contained cocaine.
When airport security officers discovered a vial hidden in the suspect's hair extensions. Its contents were tested on the spot, and police say it was determined to be cocaine.
Upon further inspection, more vials of the same substance were uncovered, all hidden within her hair.
When further searching revealed more tubes strategically attached to the woman's head. Colombian police say
this was far from a coincidence. At another Colombian airport, a second woman was caught smuggling the same type of drugs, using the same method, and also headed to Madrid, Spain, around the same time as the first. Both women, traveling to the same destination, were found carrying nearly 2 kilos of cocaine in total.
Women tried the same stunt at 2 different airports in the country and were both 2 kilos of cocaine from the women, who were both bound for Madrid.
Here are the 35 most disturbing items confiscated at airport customs. From strange smuggled goods to outright shocking discoveries, you won't believe what travelers have tried to bring through security. Let's jump right in. Surprising entry into Australia as customs asks the man if he knows what's in his bag. His words can't be trusted.
So I'm going to conduct a baggage examination. Yep. These are all your bags?
Of mine.
Did you pack the bags yourself?
Yes.
Yep. So you know what's inside the bags?
I should do this.
You should or you
I
do?
should. 100%.
Okay.
The customs officer asks the man if the luggage is his. He confirms it. She wants to take the luggage for inspection. She then asks if he knows what's in the bag.
You tell me what's in the bag, do you know?
I don't know.
Do you know what's in the bag? I asked you before. Is it a food
You didn't
item?
ask me. I thought it was some kind of noodles.
She starts inspecting his luggage and asks him questions. The man asks her if she knows what's in the white bag. She asks if he knows, and he says no, but reveals that the bag might have noodles.
A swab is now taken from the suspicious package to test for traces of illicit substance.
The bag is checked and packs of noodles are found. The officer takes a swab of the noodles to test it. While trying to board the plane, the officers discover a secret in the passenger's luggage.
Are still trying to decide what to do with the man who failed to declare he was carrying over $35,000 and £5,000 in cash.
The customs stop a passenger who fails to disclose the real contents of his luggage. They find over $35,000 and £5,000 in his bags. The officer is taking note of all this.
Shown for where the cash has come from, drastic action may have to be taken.
If he can't show us any kind of trail for this, and the paperwork's all going to come via his dad and the solicitor, you're going to have to take the money off him. Okay, and then.
With no idea where the money is coming from, the officers decide they will have to confiscate it.
Officer Johnson bags up the man's cash and leads him away for a search and further questioning.
The officer bags the money and calls the man in for further search. Also, the man will be questioned in a private room. The old man looked quite innocent, but the dog sniffed something in his bag.
We're sitting there for 20 minutes. So, K9 dog showed up, and he didn't sit. So.
The officers have a sniffing dog present as other officers search the bag of a suspicious passenger. She brings out thin papers she examines before returning them to the bag. After searching the bag, she checks the laptop.
Shows up, got the bag, and we have another video. Okay.
She turns the laptop on and briefly goes through it. She then shuts it and returns it to the bag. The officer with the dog has taken the passenger away. The officers walk away with the confiscated bag. The passenger kept trying to explain to the officers. She was hiding something from them.
Pulled aside an American citizen for a bag search. It's her second trip to Sydney in the last 6 months, and officers want to know the reason for her.
The border officer pulls aside the woman to inspect her luggage. The officer discovers this is the woman's second trip into the country in the last 6 months.
Some things I did alone, and I just had, the rides drop me off because I was scared to drive over here because it's different than back home.
Officers strongly suspect this passenger has something.
The officer is still suspicious despite the woman's openness. They take a swab of her luggage so they can test it for narcotics. She tries to explain.
Finding out exactly what it is.
The officer conducts the test while the woman waits. It comes out positive. Airport customs in India had to stop a passenger after seeing weird shapes in her luggage. The border officers discover through the X-ray machine strange moving shapes in the passenger's luggage. When they inspect it, they find massive snakes in the bags, hidden inside plastic boxes.
My God.
A snake hangs on the luggage rack. These are just some of the snakes checked as the woman tries smuggling over 20 snakes into the country. The officers safely return the snakes to the boxes while people watch this.
Smugglers come up with various ways to transport hard drugs, but you won't believe what this smuggler did.
Okay. Like you?
6 plus na.
Okay.
After going through other rounds of airport security, this smuggler managed to get hard drugs to Dubai, but there he found his doom.
Okay.
In 2 iPhone cases, 2 packs of hard drugs were found. The suspect was given a death penalty.
الحمد لله ما جاء أخذ أسبوع من جد. طلعوها الحين طلعونا كلها.
Nobody touch any bag, okay? لكم عيب عليكم ما في صوت.
5 packets of graduation greeting cards being flown from Kenya to Delhi hid the most shocking substances. Delhi customs officers of Air Cargo Export Commissionerate at Foreign Post Office detected 2.5 kilograms of hard drugs suspected to be heroin. It was found concealed in layers of cardboard packing material. On the 18th of December, 2022, Customs stopped a female Ugandan traveler who arrived from Addis Ababa, and you won't believe what was found on her. A sniffer dog named Oreo detected drugs in her already checked-in baggage, which led them to recover about 2,000 grams of methaqualone and heroin. A social media star's world came crashing down at a Peruvian airport, where a routine luggage scan revealed a shocking secret. Modu Adams, a 25-year-old British TikTok personality with a massive following, had his life turned upside down after airport authorities in Peru discovered a large quantity of illicit substances in his luggage. The young influencer was arrested on the spot and charged with drug trafficking. He later pleaded guilty to the charges.
On May 10, 2023, at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, 2 Nigerian businessmen, Ono Ebere and Christian Ifeanyi Ogbuji, were pulled aside by NDLEA officers after disembarking from an Ethiopian Airlines flight.
Where were you coming from? From Ghana. Which flight did you board?
Tension hung in the air as the men were led into a dimly lit interrogation room. There, Under intense questioning, the truth began to unravel.
Pick 6 of it so that I put it open to know the kind of drug it is that it contains. You have said this is cocaine, but we are not sure. We have to test to see what it's all about.
The men shifted uncomfortably as they revealed their grim secret. Each had swallowed dozens of cocaine pellets. Over the following hours, Ebere excreted 100 pellets, weighing 2.14 kilograms, while Ogbuji expelled 93 pellets, weighing 1.99 kilograms. Their business facades crumbled as they confessed that drug trafficking had been their true livelihood, with Lagos as their final destination.
What's the nature of business you do?
In a remarkable act of vigilance, agents of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, intercepted a well-known drug trafficker at Lagos Airport, Nigeria. This suspect had just been released after serving a 7-year prison sentence in Ethiopia for a similar crime. Despite this, he was caught again, attempting to smuggle 5.90 kilograms of cocaine into the country. The drugs were cleverly hidden inside cans of deodorant and tubes of lip gloss, demonstrating the lengths to which drug trafficking networks will go. In a terrifying event at Haiti, the largest international airport, armed gangs launched a brazen attack. On a grim Monday, the tranquility of Toussaint Louverture International Airport shattered as gunfire reverberated through its halls. Panic filled the air as scared people ran for cover, trying to escape the violence. At the airport, all flights and passengers suddenly disappeared, making a bad situation worse after earlier unrest across the country. In January 2019, a gang of 4 accomplices at Farnborough Airport planned to fly out of the country. Border officials grew their 6th sense and decided to search their suspicious luggage. Martin Neal, a British bricklayer from Poole, Dorset, was part of a group of 4 men caught trying to smuggle $50 million worth of cocaine into the UK. They falsely claimed they were on a free trip to see pop star Bruno Mars. They found 513 blocks of cocaine. CCTV footage captured the moment the border guards discovered the large stash. Martin was not alone in this crime. He was accompanied by 3 others. The group was caught red-handed with the drugs and arrested. At Salt Lake City International Airport, a routine day took a sharp turn into chaos when Kyler Effinger, 30, desperate to reach his ailing grandfather in Denver, made a reckless decision. Frustrated by a security delay that caused him to miss his flight, he scaled into the turbine of a parked plane. The scene unfolded with alarming intensity as airport personnel scrambled to respond. They pleaded with Effinger to abandon his dangerous position. Effinger's bold yet perilous act not only endangered his life, but also exposed critical gaps in airport security measures. Japan Airlines Flight 516 landed at Haneda Airport with flames erupting. Surprisingly, a relative of mine was on that flight, and I just heard about it today. They were able to capture raw footage from inside the plane. The threat of an explosion hung heavy in the air, intensifying the horror of the scene. This tragedy has cast a somber shadow over Japan in 2024, a grim beginning to the year. A tense video showed chaos erupting at an airport. Women, visibly scared, ran in panic. Some sought cover, others clustered together, trembling. One woman screamed a warning, urging everyone to take cover, sensing danger. The atmosphere was tense and uncertain, each moment weighed down with anxiety.
What's going on?
The scene unfolds like a scene from a nail-biting thriller. Viewers are left on edge, their hearts racing as they witness the unfolding drama. What could have triggered such a frenzy? Was it a security breach or something more sinister? The video captures raw, unfiltered fear, painting a vivid picture of the unpredictable nature of public spaces. As the chaos subsides, the aftermath leaves lingering questions, reminding us of the fragile line between safety and turmoil in our everyday lives. Chilling footage surfaces from Culiacan Airport, showing a terrifying ordeal unfolding on an Aeromexico plane. Just as it prepared for takeoff, gunfire erupted, targeting the aircraft in a bold attack linked to local cartels. Passengers and crew were suddenly trapped in a chaotic nightmare as bullets pierced through the plane's body. At the airport, pandemonium erupted. Security forces rushed to confront this unprecedented danger, struggling to contain the escalating cartel conflict that had erupted following the arrest of Ovidio Guzman, El Chapo's son. The scene highlighted the precarious security situation in Culiacan, leaving serious concerns about passenger safety in its wake. With every moment counting, authorities raced against the clock to quell the violence and restore order to a region gripped by unrelenting turmoil. At Gatwick Airport, a U.S. border agent grew suspicious of an elderly woman after noticing something unusual. She had changed her clothes right after passing through immigration, which raised a red flag. When questioned, the woman offered a weak excuse, saying she had just completed a long journey and wanted to change out of her wet clothes.
George carries out a routine search of the woman's bags.
The officer also noticed that she had taken her personal holder with her when she went to change, which is often used to hide items. He decided to scan the holder and its contents while also searching her suitcase. The scan revealed that her laptop seemed suspicious, as it didn't appear stable on the X-ray, unlike a normal laptop. This prompted further investigation of the device.
It looks like their hunch was right.
Their instincts proved correct. Behind the laptop screen, they found a hidden package that tested positive for cocaine.
What type of drug it is?
The reagent will turn blue if the substance is cocaine.
The woman remained surprisingly calm when confronted with the discovery. However, as she was being escorted away, her behavior became unsettling. She swore at the camera twice and even let out an eerie laugh.
If you do
Peter, in here. Just listen to me. Let us know if you need anything else.
Would you like to see the part of the blood with the film, right? You want to see that?
The drugs weighed approximately 530 grams. It seemed whoever concealed the cocaine in the laptop had gone to some lengths to outsmart security. A 25-year-old British model was stopped by authorities at Jorge Chavez International Airport when he tried to board a flight with nearly 3 kilograms of cocaine hidden in his suitcase. The drugs were reportedly meant to be transported to London.
Se va a proceder con el deslacrado temporal y la apertura del equipaje de bodega.
During the search, officers discovered bags of cocaine concealed beneath Adam's suitcase. His expression showed clear surprise, as if he had no idea about the hidden drugs. One might even think someone had set him up.
Como podemos observar, tiene 2 kilos 933.
Following the discovery, Adam was arrested and charged with drug smuggling. He later admitted to the crime in court and was sentenced to 6 years and 8 months in prison.
Se va a hacer el registro corporal, ¿ya? Se puede poner de pie, sáquese anillos, collares, correa, aquí.
Video footage from an airport in England captures when officers grow suspicious of a passenger's behavior. The man's obvious nervousness prompts a female officer to approach him and ask several probing questions.
And from here, you're going back to Holland, are you? When are you going back to Holland? Is it a flight from here or a flight from Heathrow?
She asks him if he is carrying any illegal substances in his luggage.
No cigarettes at all, nothing like that. Okay, you also know it's illegal to bring any controlled drugs, weapons, explosives, etc. into the country, yeah? And these are your bags, are they? Did you pack your bags yourself? So you know what's...
The officer then takes his bags to be scanned for drugs or weapons, but the X-ray shows no hidden contraband. Still, she isn't convinced.
Sometimes we have a problem with people bringing drugs through on their bodies. Okay, so therefore we just want to give you a rub down of your body. Okay, but we won't do it here.
The man is taken for a full body scan to check if he might be hiding drugs on himself. The officer waits to see if her instincts are correct.
The other way, sorry. Yeah, if you stand like this, that way. Yeah? Go onto the top, onto travelator. If you can breathe in as well, that will help us.
Ready breathing?
Sure enough, the scan reveals multiple packages of what appear to be drugs concealed inside his body. The man is promptly arrested for drug smuggling.
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something that you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that?
The packages are removed and identified as cocaine, confirming the officer's initial suspicion.
A little bit for the packaging, etc. It's probably about 300 grams. 1 kilo nowadays is worth around £50,000. So he's probably...
The Federal Police's K9 unit was on a mission to track down narcotics at a well-known postal station inside São Paulo Airport. Their primary focus was inspecting packages bound for Europe, Africa, and the Middle East.
El perro identifica algún olor.
Cuando la Policía Federal empieza a buscar con mucha insistencia en la terminal de cargas, busca grandes cargas.
The officers brought in their trained sniffer dog and allowed it to search the packages. The dog quickly picked up the scent of drugs, prompting the police to zero in on a particular package. As they unwrapped it, they noticed a strange odor. Upon opening it further, they discovered traces of a controlled substance hidden inside.
Cree que estarán probando la ruta para ver si mandando una pequeña cantidad.
The passenger passes the first test, but the second one reveals what he was hiding.
Officer Fitz takes him aside for further questioning.
Hello, sir. Hi. Where are you arriving from today?
Sorry?
Where are you arriving?
A passenger stands away from the officers making a call. He seems nervous, and the officers take an interest in him. As he passes by the officers, the dog sniffs him but gives no sign of trouble. Yet the officer wants to inspect him further.
Monopoly fan?
After a quick rummage, an unwelcome visitor rears its head.
The officer had asked him if he was carrying any restricted items, and he said no. An officer comes to take a swab of his luggage. The officer then searches the bag.
Suitcase. Fitz is alarmed to find a passport that doesn't belong to the man.
After checking the luggage, the officer finds a passport not belonging to the passenger. A customs officer found small, weird objects in a passenger's luggage. You'll be shocked at what it is.
Customs scanners have revealed it's full of some kind of plant material.
The officers have been called to inspect 2 passengers' bags for suspected plant materials found in their bags.
Yeah, from India, but why you brought it? For a company? Give? You brought it?
The officer opens the bag and the inner cloth wrapping. This reveals several wooden materials in the bag. The passengers say they are bringing it in from India.
Oud is the most expensive wood in the world. Used to make luxury cologne here in the Middle East, this bag alone could be worth it.
The bag is filled with just the wood chips. They have no personal belongings in the bag. The wood chips are oud, the most expensive type of wood in the world. The amount they have on them is worth $50,000, and they have no permit for it. A Nigerian entering Bangkok claimed he had a harmless substance in his bags. It might be otherwise.
Suspicions.
What do you have, sir?
Just this.
The customs officer approaches a passenger coming in from Nigeria. The man is stopped due to his unconventional luggage. He claims it's beans, looking nervous.
This one with...
What kind of powder
This
is
one is flour.
A flower, eh? Poppy's heard that one before.
it? Okay, take this and those to the...
The man opens his bag, and the smell of the contents makes her cough. The man says it is flour. She sniffs the white substance. She asks that the bag be put through the X-ray machine. The bags are put into the X-ray machine to determine whether the white substance is a drug. A passenger fails to disclose items in his luggage. When searched, the reason became clear.
Bag full of brand name goods.
These all yours.
Yes.
The passenger just came from China with brand new products in his bag. The officer asks if they are his, and he confirms that. The officer opens the bag to begin his search as the man watches.
I forgot.
Now, of course, owning some sunglasses and a few pairs of shoes isn't a crime, unless they're fake.
The officer asks him what's the value of the products in his bag and how many sunglasses are in the bag. He laughs nervously, giving a random number. The officer brings out boxes from his bag.
And on luxury items like these, that could be thousands of dollars.
The officer arranges rows of luxury products that turn out to be fake. The passenger claims to be innocent, but his bag said otherwise.
Biosecurity Officer Denise has major concerns after locating a number of prohibited items that this woman is bringing back with her from China, including...
The passenger is stopped when the officers note his irregular traveling route. That isn't to stop him. His bag is searched, bringing out all his clothes. Even with his clothes brought out, his bag still looks stuffed.
Suitcase.
It is taken to a secure examination room for further inspection, as the man insists he is...
The bag is taken to a secure area to be examined. The man insists he's coming to the country for a vacation.
But in the examination room, Border Force Officer Kathy spots what potentially could be a major problem for this passenger.
So if you look over this side here, it's all very smooth and the lining is very consistent. But if you look on this side here, you can see that there's possible indications that there could be glue, which means that the bag...
In the examination room, the officer discovers the bag has been repurposed from its original design, hiding something.
Airport staff noticed something off about a traveler's behavior, prompting a closer look. What they discovered next would be a stomach-churning revelation.
Basically, he's come with no clothing,
he's got 4.5 kilos of chocolate and alcohol. It is quite unusual for a holidaymaker to bring such a large amount of chocolates, considering he doesn't know anybody in Australia, he's got no contacts here, so he's not bringing any gifts for any friends or family that he knows.
A search of the traveler revealed 245 unusual pellets, emitting a strong odor. Further inspection confirmed the pellets contained cocaine.
Strong smell.
The nasty situation becomes increasingly serious for the passenger, as mixed in with his chocolate drops are a number of large yellow pellets. Experienced officers recognize these pellets as similar to those used by drug couriers.
The smell suggested the passenger had swallowed the pellets to evade airport security, but ultimately had to expel them after landing.
Further inspection reveals that all 4 of the chocolate tins contain the same yellow pellets. And it doesn't end there, as officers now open a package that the passenger claims is duty-free alcohol.
There is a box of Johnny Walker full of pellets.
It's possible that he had them all inside of him solely because of the smell.
After the airport security dog noticed an unusual stench coming from an airport luggage, a search was carried out to discover an unusual package. The luggage was searched to disclose any hidden content. Narcotics were found wrapped in some socks and towels, and the passenger was arrested. An Australian traveler's frequent trips to South America raised eyebrows among Border Force officers. As they dug deeper, a deeper story began to unravel.
So you're an Australian resident, you've been living here for
permanent resident. I've been here 45 years.
45 years?
I'm 47.
You don't have an Australian passport?
No.
Let's have a look for your bags.
The man, returning from a quick trip to South America, claimed his frequent visits were to see his girlfriend and young son in Chile. But the officers were not convinced. Their suspicions deepened when a swab of his bag revealed a strong reading for cocaine.
He has denied using the drug while he was away, but officers have concerns that he may be attempting to smuggle the narcotic back in with him. But close inspection of the bag reveals there are no concealments inside.
The bag was inspected, but no narcotics were found inside. So an internal body scan was done, and their suspicions were confirmed.
Going to consider sending you for an internal body scan. Yeah, sure. Okay. We're just going to go over there now. We'll have a bit of a chat about it, and we'll take it from there. Alrighty.
He was escorted by the police to the hospital where the swallow narcotics were removed.
The man will now be escorted to hospital by the Australian Federal Police, where a more in-depth scan will be carried out to confirm the result.
A passport filled with an unusual number of international stamps in a short span raised red flags for border control.
Is this your laptop?
It's me.
It's yours, yeah? Did you buy this one or someone give to you?
My sister go to buy.
Your sister buy this, okay. For you or for someone else?
For me.
For you, okay. I just want to check if there's anything inside this one, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Due to her frequent travels, she was searched, and some laptops in her luggage looked suspicious. The first laptop had no sign of narcotics, but the second did.
And when the second laptop is scanned, they get a very different result.
Wow. It's huge.
Her phone was also checked, and pictures of some illegal-looking drugs came up.
now found on the woman's phone.
That one. There's one thing you might want to bring up. Pictures of some pills. They don't look like...
Upon further investigation of her luggage, the drugs were found. After being tested, the pills were proven to not be narcotics, and she was free to go.
They got specks in them. They look like ecstasy. They really do.
Officer Jenna asks the passenger to clarify exactly what it is that she's carrying into the country.
What is in this pill I am pointing to? What is it?
Yeah, medication.
What is it? Tell me what the medication is.
Just be honest.
佢知啱啱先開俾我嘅喎，都未食過添。It was only prescribed to me just then, so I don't know.
After getting off the plane, an Italian man went to customs for authorization before leaving the airport. Unfortunately, the customs agents found something odd in his suitcase.
It is taken to a secure examination room for further inspection, as the man insists he is simply here for a holiday.
He claimed that he had bought the bag that day and that it was empty when questioned. He presented a receipt to verify he bought the bag the day he traveled.
See that there's possible indications that there could be blue, which means that the bag's been tampered with.
But the Italian owner insists it is brand new.
When the officers looked closer, they had to tear into the bag and found narcotics packaged in a black plastic bag. With this discovery, they had no choice but to immediately apprehend the man for further questioning.
So they've got a base of another bag and cut it out.
Two elderly couples were discovered with drugs at an Australian airport after their luggage was X-rayed. The couple's 4 heavy suitcases caught the customs inspector's attention during their 5-day holiday in Australia. Surprisingly, the couples arrived in Australia for their honeymoon, but despite carrying 4 enormous luggage, they didn't look happy.
4 large bags, and all the bags seem unusually heavy.
A swab has been taken from the lining of one of their suitcases to indicate...
The officers started a search and brought in a sniffer dog. If the dog sits down, it means it has detected the presence of narcotic substances in the luggage.
The packages are very dense in material. We're not sure what this substance is yet, but we're of the strong opinion that this is a concealment of one form.
The dog sat down and a machine identified a suspicious substance, so customs opened the package. Both the dog and the machine were right. Police arrested the pair and searched 3 additional suitcases. In another incident at the same airport, a middle-aged black man was stopped by customs officers after a sensor indicated he might be carrying illegal drugs. The officers didn't want to alarm anyone or cause a scene, so they discreetly asked him some questions at the customs desk, starting with whether he knew much about Australia before coming, but his replies seemed off.
Watch that show, Steve, and seen a lot of...
The show, the Steve? The crocodile guy?
Yeah, the crocodile guy. So I know...
After searching his bags and finding nothing, the officers suspected he might have ingested the drugs.
Can you tell me anything about Sydney that you know
About
of?
Sydney, they have the opera house.
Opera House, yep. The only one thing I don't understand is you said you've always wanted to come to Australia. The only thing you can mention to me is one.
They detained him, and 4 days later, he passed 46 pieces of concealed cocaine. The man admitted that he had been paid $4,000 to carry out the smuggling operation.
9 hours, Nelson passed 76 pellets wrapped in tape. The pellets contained high-grade worth $620.
An Asian woman arrived at an airport in Australia, and authorities became suspicious that she might be carrying illegal drugs in her luggage. Of all the things she could bring, she had fresh fish with her, planning to eat it in Australia. Due to concerns about environmental damage, Australia prohibits the importation of animal products, whether alive or dead.
This is the first time.
First time. Who cleaned the fish?
Vietnam.
My friend uncle. Not you.
No.
When officers inspected the fish, they found something odd. The side-cut fish had its intestines within, suggesting tampering. She said someone gave her the fish, which raised the officers' suspicions.
Officers see objects inside the fish which appear to be the exact size and shape of pellets carriers use to carry internally.
After a careful inspection, they found packets of illegal drugs hidden inside the fish. The drugs were carefully wrapped to avoid detection. Once this was discovered, she was immediately arrested. At Sydney Airport, an Australian border security official questioned a man about his frequent trips to South America. The officer was curious because the man's passport was from Greece, yet he had traveled to South America many times. The man explained that he often visited his girlfriend and their young child who lived there. This seemed to satisfy the officer, though he remained cautious about the unusual travel pattern.
Answering all our questions, trying to be relaxed. Seems a little bit forced. He's very helpful in answering questions, and he seems to have a story all the time.
As the questioning went on, the man seemed to have his answers ready, almost like he had practiced them before. This made the officers suspect that he had prepared for this encounter in advance.
Can you bring back? No.
With his story looking increasingly shaky, the results of the swab taken from the lining of his suitcase raised suspicions.
The officials searched the man's bags and body but found nothing. They suspected he might be hiding something inside and wanted to do a body scan. At this point, the man hesitated and tried to avoid the test. Sensing something was wrong, the officers called the police, and the man had no choice but to cooperate.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, they've rivet the rather screws.
Yeah, we usually don't screw them in.
Believing the bag may have been tampered,
The screening found hidden drugs in him. He was hospitalized for substance removal. The man admitted his guilt and was sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Took the passenger inside to a search room for further examination and also to test the white powdery substance. Yeah, that's from the back.
Australian border officials stopped a man at the airport because they suspected he had narcotics in his bag. A trained detection dog at the security checkpoint alerted the officers, making them take immediate action to investigate further.
Placed under arrest for alleged importation of into the United States.
The passenger was taken upstairs to HSI and for federal prosecution.
The man was stopped, questioned, and his bag was searched. Inside, they discovered a big amount of a strange substance. The results of the test showed that it was definitely cocaine.
Is that it? Try to make sure. Oh yeah, it's the same thing, look, you see?
Look, this is what they did.
At this Australian airport, officers were on high alert as a woman from Vietnam passed through security. The X-ray scans and sensors picked up something unusual, leading them to suspect she might be carrying an illegal substance.
Item here. What we're going to do is this, test on the item, and it will tell us if there's or exploit.
When questioned, the woman seemed to have prepared answers for everything, but her story didn't quite add up. The officers felt that something was off.
It may be at this stage.
further inspection of the item, which tested positive, reveals another concerning anomaly.
After further investigation, it was discovered that she was carrying around 6 grams of cocaine, worth millions of dollars, on the street. She was arrested, taken into custody, and later sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Okay, the samples come up as positive.
Secondary testing now confirms.
Australian security found a suspicious cylinder-shaped suitcase. A scan showed something hidden in the lining. As officers prepared to search, the man started acting nervously.
Appears to have something concealed inside, in the base. I'm looking at this image. Yeah, it looks fairly thick.
There is a layer of dense organic material beneath.
The man quickly asked to call his wife. While the officers checked his bags, he insisted on making the call. As he talked, they realized he wasn't just calling his wife. He seemed to be contacting a travel partner, suggesting he wasn't alone in smuggling something illegal.
The bag came from raises suspicions even further.
The passenger also stated that he picked the bag up in
in Colombia. When his other bag.
Officials discovered another passenger with the same last name on the same flight. They searched the man's bags and found illegal drugs, leading to his immediate arrest.
Are usually in a powder form, but officers are confident that this well-concealed paste is an illicit substance.
It was in the...
When they inspected his wife's bags, they uncovered several kilos of cocaine. Both were then taken into custody, where they would face the consequences of their actions in court. When officers checked this woman's travel history, they noticed she had visited South America several times that year, along with a trip to Spain. Although she worked as a cleaner, they were curious about how she managed to spend $20,000.
She spent upwards of $20,000 on this trip, including the freight, her ticketing, about these machine parts, and she has little idea of what the machine...
The officers asked her why she was in Australia, and she responded that she was there to deliver or sell a machine to a company, hoping to make some money. However, things didn't add up when she couldn't remember the name of the company.
So we're going to put them through the X-ray and see if we can get some images and see if we can see if there's any concealments inside.
There are 10 machine bearings as the passenger...
The officers opened the metal machine and found a huge amount of methamphetamine, a very dangerous and illegal drug in Australia. The drugs were worth a lot of money, $16 million. The woman was quickly arrested.
Oh, it's pushing away. Woo! We've hit the mother load. Good day's work. Well done, buddy.
Australian border officials at Sydney Airport became suspicious of an Estonian woman arriving from London. She said she was on a 16-day holiday, but her story didn't match up. She'd never been to Australia before, bought her ticket last minute, and was traveling alone. The final red flag was her luggage. One suitcase had personal items, but the other only contained 2 brand new backpacks.
Recent visa, so pretty much last minute. Not traveling with anyone today. The baggage officer noticed that she's a bit nervous.
When questioned, she insisted the backpacks weren't hers, they were for a friend. The officers weren't convinced. A swab test on one of the backpacks came back positive for cocaine. The woman grew visibly anxious, asking for a chair as if she might faint.
So the first backpack has read.
An X-ray confirmed their suspicions. Hidden compartments in the bags contained illegal substances. She was promptly taken into custody for further interrogation.
Both bags.
When I kept feeling inside, the lining and the layers inside the compartments, it was just different to other backpacks.
In May 2024, Australian border security officers were conducting a sweep to catch and expose illegal immigrants and any contraband they might be carrying. During their search, they found something unusual.
Officers are deconstructing goods to locate concealments of the illicit substance ethanol.
Bulk weight on this product is spot on 5 kilos.
Inside what looked like an ordinary table, they discovered a large package wrapped in black nylon. When they opened it, they found a significant amount of cocaine hidden inside.
Just for this one import alone, it's staggering amounts of money.
With sufficient intelligence gathered, Operation Acunia now moves.
This package weighed about 5.9 kilograms, and it was shocking to learn that the drugs were estimated to be worth around $450,000. After admitting to his crime, the accused individual was taken into custody.
Large amounts of currency or banking documents, electronic devices, anything to help prove the offence.
While the detector dog goes through the house,
a surprising incident took place at Istanbul Airport involving Lorenzo Prendini, a curator from the American Museum of Natural History, known for his knowledge of spiders and scorpions. Turkish police detained him, accusing him of smuggling a large number of these creatures, despite his insistence that he had all the necessary permits. As officers carefully went through his things, finding plastic bags full of 1,500 dead creatures. Prendini, looking upset, argued that Turkish authorities had approved his research, done with local scientists. He accused the police of biased judgment, influenced by an individual with conflicting interests. The airport had strict rules. No reptiles or animals could be taken out of the country. The man was immediately arrested, and the officials questioned why he had the creatures. The incident shocked the securities, and the man's future now depended on the law's decision. Caught on a surveillance camera at Newark Liberty International Airport, a commotion erupted, catching everyone's attention, and American rapper Sexy Red was at the center of it all. The 26-year-old was seen gripping a steel barrier, ready to swing at a man. The reason behind this intense confrontation remains a mystery. Security rushed to intervene, their expressions a mix of shock and disbelief. Phones were out, recording every moment, but no one could piece together what ignited the clash. With Sexy Red now facing charges of disorderly conduct, the incident has left fans and onlookers alike questioning what could have provoked such a fierce reaction. On a typical Monday at Dallas Love Field Airport, security footage reveals a scene that begins like any other day. A woman, cloaked in black, strides into a bathroom. Moments pass. She re-emerges, her hand hidden in her pocket. Her pace quickens as she navigates through the bustling terminal. Then, she stops abruptly. The crowd's chatter fades as she slowly pulls a handgun from her pocket. The sudden gunfire shatters the airport's calm, sending travelers scrambling in every direction. In the midst of the panic, authorities move swiftly, tackling the woman to the ground. She is arrested, charged with aggravated assault against a public servant. A shocking video shows shooters at Atlanta International Airport in Georgia, dressed in red, firing their weapons without caring about people's safety. Travelers panicked and scrambled for cover. Police rushed to the airport security checkpoint to restore order, but it was chaotic. The scene was completely wild. This scary footage raises serious concerns about the security and safety of passengers at one of the busiest airports in the world. In July 2019, 2 men from Japan attempted a daring heist at Perth International Airport. One was 51 years old and the other was 28. As they prepared to board flights to Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, Australian Border Force agents noticed something unusual. The X-ray of the 51-year-old man's suitcase showed some strange shapes. When opened, the mystery was revealed. 13 bobtail lizards, native to Australia and worth up to $10,000 each on the black market. The 28-year-old had collected these valuable reptiles, and the older man acted as the courier. Both men were swiftly arrested. Their smuggling scheme came to an abrupt end when they were convicted and sentenced to jail time. In a scary video from surveillance cameras, a sudden attack on a TSA agent at Phoenix Airport happens very fast. A man in red jumps at a security guard with great force. The scene turns chaotic, leaving one guard badly hurt and rushed to the hospital. 4 others are also injured. The attack was shocking and scared everyone at the airport. Emergency teams arrived quickly to help, and police rushed to catch the attacker, easing worries for travelers and staff. A Turkish man named Faruk Fatih Ozar is a well-known figure in Turkish cryptocurrency circles, launched Thodrex in 2017. The cryptocurrency later gained notoriety for negative reasons. In 2021, everything fell apart. Surveillance footage captured Ozar rushing from his car toward Istanbul airport security. Tension filled the air as authorities closed in, stopping his attempt to escape Turkey. Accusations spread that he cheated users out of a whopping $2 billion. Chaos erupted at the airport when Ozar was arrested, as seen in the footage. His arrest shocked the digital finance world, sparking urgent questions about cyber-financial crimes. At Perth International Airport in Australia, 2 Japanese men were detained while trying to transport 13 bobtail lizards. The 2 males, ages 28 and 51, received prison sentences after being found guilty. Just before the guys boarded separate aircraft, one to Singapore and the other to Kuala Lumpur, Australian Border Force personnel stopped them. The huge lizards were the questionable things that an X-ray of the 51-year-old's bag revealed. It came to light in court that the older man was acting as a courier for the younger man who had gathered the lizards. Customs authorities found more than half a ton of narcotics at Istanbul airport. This 568 kilo of drugs worth 68 million Turkish liras were taken into custody. This video shows a tragic incident from 2021 when an Ecuadorian drug mule, Zambrano Xavier Fernando Lor, tragically died after 2 drug-filled capsules he had swallowed burst inside his stomach. The 45-year-old had just arrived at Istanbul airport from Madrid carrying 400 grams of narcotics. The rupture of the capsules led to severe internal poisoning, resulting in his agonizing death. This video was captured when customs officials at Mumbai International Airport seized 481 grams of gold from a woman who had just arrived from Dubai on December 28, 2020. In this last video, Customs and Border Protection officers were seen preparing to remove drugs that had been tightly packed into 4 tires of an 18-wheeler truck. The substance felt very dense, almost like a brick, indicating there was something inside. The only way to retrieve the drugs was to cut the tires open. This complex process required much effort, so they hoped to open them carefully without damaging the contents.
Wow. It feels like a brick. There's something loose about it. Well, of course, that creates a fair amount of density. Cutting it.
The truck was carrying a hefty 240 pounds of marijuana hidden in its tires. While investigating, CBP officers began to question the driver. He explained that he was just doing his usual routine, checking the oil and water, and planning to make his delivery. He mentioned the name of the company he worked for and shared a bit about his family, saying he had 3 children aged 18, 17, and 10, and his wife worked harder than he did. Several passengers make wild claims about what the officers found in their bags.
Suitcases filled entirely with cigarettes smuggled into the UK from Lanzarote. The passengers have been informed that the cigarettes and the vehicle being used to carry the cigarettes are being seized.
Some passengers are trying to get into the country when the officers stop them, seeing strange packs in their bags. The officers check their bags and bring out packs and packs of cigarettes from several packs.
Just collecting his friends and knows nothing of the suspected cigarette smuggling ring, is taken into a private room for questioning.
The driver waiting for the passengers is called in for questioning. He claims he's just there to get his friends. The officers think this might be a cigarette smuggling ring.
40,000. The passengers are questioned separately to try and establish more information about the suspected smuggling ring.
The officers note that there are about 40,000 packs of cigarettes being smuggled. The passengers say they plan to smoke everything. Each of the passengers is questioned individually. The passenger's bags looked clean, but the officers found she hid a smuggled item in a surprising place.
It's a suspicious activity. Normally people would just wait.
Officers suspect an elderly woman is trying to smuggle cocaine into the country. The cocaine is hidden in a laptop, behind the laptop screen. They test the substance to be sure it's cocaine. The result confirms it's cocaine.
Something inside, yeah.
With concerns there may be drugs hidden in the laptop, it's taken away to a workshop.
The woman is arrested on suspicion of smuggling drugs. She is taken to a room for further questioning. The drugs are then used to train the sniffer dogs. A suspicious weight from a luggage alerts customs for a thorough search. The customs officer suspects the passenger has hidden something in their bag, as it weighs more than it should. They found only clothes in the bag, which doesn't explain the weight. He goes through the clothes, carefully tearing them open. As he opens the clothes, he finds a gold paste hidden between 2 layers of a vest. More of the substance is found in other clothes. The clothes are seized. The passenger from China entering Australia tells the customs officer that he has nothing to declare in his luggage. The customs officer goes through a strange package. What he checked turned out to be something else entirely. A customs officer finds a strange package in the passenger's bag. He opens the sealed bag and pours out what seems like sand into a plate. As he pours the contents out of the bag, he sees small white packs hidden in the sand. He picks out 6 of these small packs and sets them aside. The officer opens the packs and shows what's inside. They are tiny diamonds in the packs. The diamonds are both lab-grown and real diamonds. The confiscated items are worth $250,000. The officer knew to trust his senses and found some substance concealed ingeniously. A customs officer in Dubai feels an unusual weight in a new iPhone case. This is unusual for an iPhone case. He unseals the case to check out what is causing the increased weight. When he opens the case, he pulls out a sizable amount of a white substance suspected to be cocaine. There's no phone in the case. The passenger is trying to smuggle drugs into the country.
Nobody touch any bag, okay?
Customs officers searched the passengers' bags and noticed several red flags. A passenger is stopped at the security check when the officers notice the unusual package on him.
Being conducted, the young man admitted that he regularly uses marijuana.
He's traveling with a snowboard and claims it's not his. The officers notice something strange about the snowboard. They carry out a swab test, and the test comes out positive for cocaine. The man admits to using meth. The officer asks if he has used or has cocaine on him. He denies it.
As it has just been x-rayed and it shows a section in the middle that could possibly be a concealment.
They tell him they're getting readings of cocaine. They inspect his luggage. While inspecting his luggage, they find large bundles of cash in a plastic bag.
This passenger tells his story of how he was found carrying hard drugs internally and the terrible ordeal he had to go through next.
Get off me! Get off me!
He was captured and taken into custody, where he was given laxative fluids. He asked for a toilet, but he was given a bucket so that the evidence can be preserved.
I need a toilet.
No toilet.
And they said, right, you've got to go in that bucket. I said, what? 5 minutes later, I'm squatting over this bucket. I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm squeezing my stomach. And it was like a machine gun.
He took him 3 days to defecate out all the packs from his stomach, and he was later arrested and taken to jail, from where he recounts his story. A woman's stylish high heels caught the eye of airport security, but it was what was hidden in the heels that really grabbed their attention.
I'm just kind of confused right now.
What are you confused at?
Because I don't know how this is happening.
A search of the woman's luggage revealed a cleverly concealed compartment in the heel of her shoe containing cocaine.
We've got a concealment puzzle, an unknown substance of some sort.
When questioned, the woman claimed to be unaware of the hidden stash, but security officials were not convinced.
I feel sick because I can't believe that.
This woman and her companion were stopped while waiting for their next flight after the airport security dogs caught an unusual smell in their luggage.
Passengers have been brought down from the transit area and we're just about to go and do the search now.
The dog is brought in to confirm the smell once again from their luggage, and it's confirmed there's narcotics there.
Her companion's bags have the same contents and a distinctive smell.
There's quite a strong chemical kind of smell. Not too sure what it is, but it's definitely not normal to have that kind of smell on your clothing.
Another dog team comes to confirm Roxy's unusual discovery.
Hi. Good boys.
A part of the item in their luggage was cut, and a sample was taken, which tested positive for hard drugs.
The towels and cut a little bit off and nick test it to see what is inside or what's it containing.
The test proved positive for cocaine, and the couple were arrested.
Split half and half, half blue, half pink, which is exactly what we want, so that's a positive on the nick test.
After this, Grandma was seen suspiciously changing her clothes in the airport bathroom. The attention of the airport security was raised, and you won't believe what happened next. A laptop she was carrying raises suspicion, and it's checked for narcotics.
On the x-ray, it's sort of uneven. As it goes in, it shows that there may be something inside.
The laptop is broken apart, and their suspicions are confirmed. The substance was tested and proved to be cocaine. She was taken into custody, where further investigation was carried out.
It looks like their hunch was right. Officers discover a package they suspect to be drugs stuffed inside the...
This man was suspected to be carrying drugs, but nothing was found on him. You won't believe where they were found.
Hello, sir. Your passport on you, please. That's great. Got your ticket as well. Any ticket? And where do you live, sir? In Holland?
After airport security noticed his strange body language, they decided to do a quick scan on his things, but nothing was found.
As he holds his breath, the man's fate hangs in the balance. He's stuffed with packages of drugs.
He was then taken through a body scan, only to discover that he was stuffed with confined drugs packs. Airport security finds a suspicious-looking baggage, and after searching through, you won't believe what they found.
I try not to overlook anything. Shit. And coffee beans. Can't really see inside it. I'm gonna have to cut it open.
A bag of coffee was found, and after cutting it open, they found something strange inside.
We'll see what we got.
Multiple kilos of cocaine were found concealed in the commercial coffee bags.
Well, coffee is supposed to be brown, right? Coffee is not supposed to be white.
In the early morning hours at Newark International Airport, Customs and Border Patrol officers scrutinized a shipment that had arrived overnight. Their search revealed a surprising hiding spot.
Looks like we've got 2 toy cars.
A little bit of weight to it.
Bingo!
Within a toy car, officers discovered a concealed compartment containing narcotics.
Feels like pills.
All right, let's take a look.
And yes, pills. Square pills, different colors.
Smuggling from Nigeria is a serious issue as well. On October 21st, 2023, a well-known businessman was caught involved in drug trafficking while traveling from Abuja, Nigeria, to Hong Kong.
What do you do for a living? You're a businessman. Where is your business office? What kind of items do you deal on?
At the airport, X-ray scanners showed something suspicious on the 40-year-old man. However, when security searched him, they couldn't find anything, so they decided to detain him. This man was originally a seller of motor vehicle parts in Aba, Nigeria. A few days later, while in custody, the man excreted 49 pellets of cocaine and heroin. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency quickly arrested him, and he was then handed over to the police for further investigation and to face justice.
What excretion? How many pellets do you excrete? This one now? Yes. 14. Please, can you count them?
A surprising incident occurred at a Nigerian airport when officers from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, caught a woman trying to smuggle a large amount of drugs out of the country. The woman had cleverly hidden the drugs inside her wig, a method that shocked both the authorities and the public. It showed just how far some people are willing to go to avoid getting caught. This successful operation by the NDLEA demonstrates their strong dedication to fighting drug trafficking and keeping the country safe. In a video recorded on a smartphone, a Nigerian NDLEA officer is seen questioning a man who was caught with hard drugs. The man had planned to take the drugs with him on a business trip to Vietnam before he was arrested.
What is it? Okay. Where are you traveling to?
When the officers found cocaine in his possession, the man admitted that he was guilty. He explained that he had only done it to gather enough money to start a business for his wife. However, the law doesn't consider a person's intentions. If you're caught with hard drugs and plan to traffic them, you will face the consequences, regardless of the reason behind your actions. In another case, a Nigerian businessman heading to Paris was arrested at Abuja Airport in a dramatic drug bust. Security officials caught him after discovering through careful screening that he had swallowed 111 wraps of cocaine. This risky attempt to smuggle such a large amount of drugs shows the serious challenges law enforcement faces in the battle against drug trafficking. As the investigation continues, authorities will be looking to find out where the cocaine came from and if anyone else was involved. Freeman Charles Ogbonna, a man who was trying to fly from Lagos to Delhi, was arrested at Murtala Muhammad International Airport for swallowing 80 wraps of cocaine. While waiting for his flight at the checkpoint, Ogbonna started showing signs that something was wrong. At that moment, the officials took him into custody. Almost immediately, he started vomiting and passing the drug-filled wraps one after another. Over the next 4 days, he slowly managed to get all of the wraps out of his body. Ogbonna explained that he had been promised N$300,000, which is about $230 in US dollars at the time, to deliver the drugs. He had swallowed them at a hotel in Ikea, hoping to make it through the airport without being caught.
A suspicious man was stopped for a routine check, and the airport security find a very creative hiding spot. The shoes in the luggage are checked thoroughly, and something unusual is found. The shoes are opened up, and like the officers suspected, there were concealed drugs inside. When the bag of a nervous 21-year-old man traveling from Colombia is x-rayed, customs realize they may be dealing with something more than a regular tourist.
As you can see there, it's like a very thick sort of wet paste. It was in the very bottom of the bag, sealed in plastic.
In his bag, a whitish but pasty substance was found, and although narcotics are usually powdery, a test was taken.
It's come up positive for cocaine hydrochloride.
The test proved the substance to be cocaine. The man was traveling with his wife, and she too was thoroughly checked for any sign of hard drugs.
No, just leave these out.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was found clean and was free to go, but her husband was arrested after 619 grams of cocaine was found on him. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Airport security was in for a surprise when they scanned a passenger's unusual hairstyle. What they found hidden will leave you stunned.
Est-ce que s'il faut pas autochtone d'Azoko?
This woman attempted to smuggle a large quantity of cocaine, valued at over $10,000, through airport security by concealing it in her hair and wig. A traveler from South Africa seemed overly nervous during routine questioning at an Italian airport. Little did he know, his luck was about to run out.
I didn't make booking. What I say is
Do you have a friend here? No. Nothing. But this is your luggage, it's yours.
yes, it's mine. I bought it and then I put my clothes.
Yes, one person give you this luggage.
After airport security grew suspicious of the traveler because of his suspicious behavior, they took him aside for further inspection.
Do you work for an organization?
I'm working in a company.
In a company. Yeah, you're sure. If you don't speak with the police, you will go in the prison for 10 years. I ask you again. Do you want to speak with the police? Your luggage is yours?
Yes, it's mine. I told you.
Okay. Peter, 10 years.
A search of his luggage revealed a staggering 1.5 million euros worth of heroin, which had been covered with chili paste to hide the scent.
What is this?
I don't know.
You are sure? You don't have a friend here? No. What is this? You don't know this.
In this incident, there was a rapid and chaotic evacuation of American forces and allies from Kabul International Airport in Afghanistan. The airport buzzed with chaos as crowds surged onto the tarmac, their faces filled with confusion. Vehicles weaved through the throng, and pedestrians darted past. The air was thick with tension, a sense of urgency pressing in on all sides. Security personnel, visibly strained, fought to impose order. Passengers jostled forward, caught in the frenzy. Engines idled as people pushed and shoved, their anxiety palpable. At a Jamaican airport, a shocking moment was caught on camera, showing a woman experiencing a serious mental health crisis. Naked and lost in her own world, she clung to another woman who seemed familiar. Security stepped in to separate them and calm her down, but nothing worked. Suddenly, she threw her belongings aside and attacked a security officer, grabbing his uniform and screaming wildly. The airport echoed with her desperate cries, shocking and scaring passengers. It was unclear if she was under some dark influence or driven by a strong urge, but her actions were alarming. Police quickly arrived, restrained her with handcuffs, and bystanders helped cover her. The chaotic scene left everyone uneasy, questioning the woman's distress and airport safety.
Poor girl is supposed to embarrass
A shocking video has surfaced from a Moroccan airport, sparking anger and calls to boycott Royal Air Maroc. Frustrated passengers, stranded due to overbooking, endured days of waiting. Tensions rose when boarding was finally announced, leading to violence and discrimination against black passengers. Airport officials and airline staff clashed with a black passenger who protested. This incident has raised serious concerns about discrimination, safety, and human rights violations. Now, voices are calling for accountability and shedding light on the injustices faced by passengers with this airline. At Chennai Airport, customs officers got a surprising parcel from Poland. When they opened it, they were stunned by what they found. Inside were 107 live tarantulas, packed with care. These weren't ordinary spiders. They were rare and protected by CITES, an international agreement to protect endangered plants and animals during trade. Because of these reasons, the officers swiftly seized them under the Customs Act. Picture this: officers looking into a box filled with squirming tarantulas, each one a rare specimen. This raised questions. Why were these exotic creatures here? And who was behind the bold attempt to smuggle them into the country? Tension filled the air at Makachkala Airport. A determined mob surged through the halls, eyes searching every corner. Room by room, they pushed forward. Security forces struggled to hold them back, but the crowd wouldn't stop. Fear spread among the travelers. Who were they looking for? Why were they here? In the heart of Russia, an alarming intrusion sparked a frantic response. Authorities hurried to protect passengers and regain control while trying to understand the mob's motives. Rumors flew, adding to the tension. Reports suggested the intruders were targeting Israeli citizens, turning the bustling airport into a scene of chaos. As confusion reigned, one thing became clear. International travel hubs were vulnerable, and the need for vigilant security had never been more urgent. A shocking incident unfolded at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport in Arizona, captured on camera for all to see. An airport worker suddenly stripped naked and began behaving strangely, alarming travelers and security alike. Despite attempts to calm him down, the man continued his odd actions. Security officers tried to approach and control him, but he refused to listen. Later reports revealed that he had quit his job, leading to speculation about whether this had triggered his dramatic public display. The event raised serious concerns about airport safety and how to handle unexpected situations like this. It reminded everyone of the challenges faced by airport authorities in keeping everyone safe and maintaining order. Still in Nigeria, NDLEA officers discovered heroin and a drug named Loud hidden inside LED lamps. In a surprising event that made headlines, customs officers found a young boy hidden inside a leather suitcase at a Spanish airport. The suitcase belonged to a nervous 19-year-old woman who approached the customs checkpoint in Ceuta, a Spanish area in North Africa. During a routine scan, the officers noticed a strange shape inside the suitcase that looked like a person. Their suspicions grew, and they quickly opened the bag to find an 8-year-old boy named Abu carefully packed inside. He was from Ivory Coast and appeared upset, but surprisingly healthy. Abu's father, eager to be with his son, had paid the woman to smuggle him into Spain to escape the difficult life in their home country. After the boy was discovered, his father, who was waiting anxiously at the border, was arrested.
They found that he was in a terrible state. He was carried by a 19-year-old woman who reportedly got paid to smuggle him. The boy's father, who lived...
Back in Nigeria, 2 elderly suspects were caught at Lagos Airport after they passed a total of 150 wraps of cocaine. Officers from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrested the passengers as they were about to board a Qatar Airways flight to Doha at Terminal 2 of Murtala Mohammed International Airport on Friday, June 21st.
41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55.
NDLEA spokesman Femi Baba Femi shared the news that one of the suspects, identified as Ikomun Daniel, excreted 90 wraps of cocaine, weighing about 1.022 kilos, over 6 times. Meanwhile, the second Ayigoro Wahid Omobolaji passed 60 wraps of the same drug, weighing 662 grams, in 5 separate instances. Further investigation revealed that Ikomun Daniel had stolen the identity of his deceased uncle, who once lived in Germany. He did this to obtain a Schengen visa, hoping it would give him easy European access. At the same time, his real name is Oladapo Olanrewaju. At Lagos Airport, the NDLEA has seized cocaine hidden inside T-shirts. On December 18th at Chennai Airport, a sniffer dog named Oreo detected drugs in the checked baggage of a Ugandan passenger. This led to the recovery of 1,542 grams of methaqualone and 644 grams of heroin, with a total value of 5.35 crores. A man was caught trying to smuggle $210,000 worth of cocaine. When customs officers looked inside his bag, they noticed a white, powdery substance. Given that it came from Colombia, it was highly likely that it was cocaine. The passenger's story about how he got the bag raised even more suspicions. He claimed he picked it up in Colombia after his other bag fell apart. While officials inspected the case further, the passenger made an unusual request to call his wife.
The passenger has an unusual request.
Your wife? Okay. He wants to contact his wife.
He seemed anxious, but he wouldn't be making calls anytime soon. The officers suspected he was involved in drug trafficking, so they took him to a private room for questioning. While talking to him, they received concerning information that he may not have traveled alone. He and another passenger, who shared his last name and had similar travel routes, had arrived from Colombia. Officers decided to search the second passenger's bag to see if she was hiding drugs too. When questioned, she mentioned she had 3 children, Still, she left them at home because her mother was very sick and needed dialysis. As the female passenger was being questioned, officers took a sample from the lining of the male passenger's suitcase to test for illegal substances. Surprisingly, the initial test returned negative, but they wanted to check further.
Yeah, what's going on? Any associated trouble?
It appears the passenger may not have been travelling alone, and his companion has...
They drilled a small hole into the suitcase and discovered a thick, wet paste at the bottom, which they believed was illegal. This paste was carefully concealed in plastic. Using special technology, they tested the substance while also X-raying the woman's suitcase to check for hidden drugs. Her bag appeared to be clear, which was good news for her. However, the male passenger was not so fortunate. The tests confirmed that the substance in his suitcase was cocaine.
It's taken from the lining of the male passenger's suitcase. The test will reveal if there are any traces of illicit substances.
The Australian Federal Police were called in to take over the investigation. While examining the female passenger's suitcase, officers noticed the female passenger had bottles of liquid that looked similar to the paste in his bag. The paste was not a powder, it was a gel-like substance. After a thorough investigation, officers confirmed that the female passenger was not involved in any drug smuggling and was free to leave. The male passenger's suitcase containing the cocaine was confiscated, and he was taken into custody by the authorities.
First offender laser technology should give a highly accurate reading of what the substance is.
All right, see if it comes up.
And while
Border Force officers in Brisbane were alerted to the arrival of a U.S. citizen flying in from Los Angeles. He became a person of interest because his previous travel companions had been intercepted in the U.S. with narcotics while trying to leave the country. During questioning, the man seemed nervous and shaky, which concerned officers. He explained that he was supposed to be in Melbourne, but was rerouted to Brisbane. His jittery behavior raised more suspicion. When officers asked if he was feeling okay, he attributed his shakiness to anxiety and stress, claiming he had PTSD. Despite offering him a chair and some comfort, the officers noticed his unusual behavior, prompting them to conduct a more thorough investigation.
So I have PTSD, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's good. Everything's good.
Okay. Do you need to take any medication or anything like that?
I haven't taken any, no.
Do you need to take some?
No, I don't.
Sure.
The officers carried out a swab test to check for traces of drugs. When asked if he had ever used drugs, the man admitted to using methamphetamine 3 days prior. This led the officers to ask if he was currently carrying any drugs. At first, he hesitated, but eventually confessed to having drugs on his body, specifically methamphetamine hidden in his crotch area and internally. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the officers cautioned him and called in the Australian Federal Police. The man's distress grew as the reality of the situation hit him, and he became more upset.
Down in evidence. Do you understand that? Okay. Christopher, the drugs you have on your person, are they on your body? Are they internally? Or okay.
Officers searched his bags, but their primary concern now was the potential health risks of the drugs he was carrying internally. There was a genuine fear that the narcotics could rupture inside him, posing a life-threatening situation. A detector dog confirmed the presence of narcotics, and the man admitted he was carrying approximately 2 ounces of drugs. He claimed they were for personal use and not for distribution. He explained that he had visited Australia to meet a woman online. Still, officers would need to verify this information.
How much do you have? Ounces? How many ounces? 6.5?
Yeah.
With his health at risk, an ambulance was called, but the man hesitated to consent to a medical examination. Despite his fear and uncertainty, the officers emphasized the urgency of the situation, explaining that the drugs inside him needed to be safely removed to avoid a medical emergency. After much hesitation, he finally agreed to the examination, and the officers handed the case to the Australian Federal Police. The passenger's belongings were seized, and he was taken to the hospital for medical care. Officers were particularly concerned because the drugs had been inside him for over 16 hours. Thankfully, the drugs were recovered, and he was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment.
Because by what we can understand is he actually put it into himself prior to leaving LA, so it's about 16, 17 hours. So they're really keen to get involved.
The officer profiled the passenger and was sure he was hiding something.
एक बार ओपन करो फैन को.
The customs officer thoroughly checks the passenger's luggage. He gets to the fan and opens the fan off, taking each part out. There is a huge gold ring concealed in the fan. The officer brings it out. The gold ring weighs 636 grams. It is also valued at $46,000. The officers might have missed this if they weren't careful. A passenger repurposed his bag to hide a contraband. Customs carefully searched it. In the bag of a passenger, the officer yanks out a tape used to seal money to the inner lining of the bag. The officer still checks other corners of the bag and finds 2 wads of foreign cash. He tears the thin fabric on the cover of the bag. He feels inside the bag to see if anything is sealed in there. He then tears the rest of the inner covering of the bag. He still finds more cash hidden deeply. The passenger's disguise of what he was smuggling was devious. Could the officers have stopped it? The customs officer profiles and intercepts a passenger they suspect may be smuggling in something. He finds a power supply machine which he begins to take apart. The officer calmly takes apart the metal shafts used to hold the concealed package. He knocks a solid metal inside the package out. He opens the metal box, and inside there is a block of gold which is concealed inside. The gold weighs 10.5 grams and is valued at $36,000. A passenger carried out a large smuggling operation that kept customs busy to uncover it. The officer is taking apart cardboard after cardboard because the passenger has concealed something between the cardboard sheets. A gold paste begins to show as the cardboard is ripped apart. The gold paste is in a thin, white leather glued to the cardboard. Other officers find similar gold paste in other cardboard. The officers also seized more gold paste hidden in cream tubes and e-cigarettes. You would never have comprehended how the customs uncovered a smuggling operation. The officer cuts the shoelace holes, suspecting the passenger has hidden things in the shoe. He carefully cuts it open. He cuts out the metal hole of the shoe and throws it down with the others he has removed from other shoes. They are small gold rings that the passenger customized to be fitting as holes for shoelaces. The gold weighs 326 grams in total, valued at $23,000. The passenger's luggage passed the drug tests, but he still had other things he was smuggling. A couple of customs officers in India cut open this luggage after the X-ray machine flagged it. The passenger is coming to India from Dubai. One of the officers unscrews bolts in the luggage, and the others watch. They unscrew a couple of bolts and nuts, revealing it to be gold. It's unrefined and weighs 267 grams. The gold is confiscated. At Oklahoma City Airport, a tense moment unfolded when security cameras captured a young boy jumping off a moving plane on the tarmac at Rogus World Airport in 2019. His daring escape from authorities startled everyone watching. His motives remained unclear, but it was clear he had sneaked onto the plane and outsmarted security measures. With breathtaking audacity, he leapt from the airport roof, leaving security stunned. The airport was thrown into chaos as officials rushed to understand the situation and keep passengers and operations safe. This smartphone footage, recorded at Don Mueang Airport, shows an incident between a Chinese passenger and security. The clip has gone viral in China and has caused quite a stir. The video first shows the officer grabbing and dragging the man, then suddenly slapping him. It's unclear why the officer acted so aggressively. Afterward, he stayed silent, glaring disapprovingly at the man. Though it seemed like the security guards were telling him to leave, he refused to follow their instructions. He tried to explain himself a bit, but I don't think it was worth it. The man began explaining himself, leaving others to wonder what he did to deserve such treatment. The incident highlighted the delicate balance between maintaining order and respecting people's rights.
At
the Afghanistan airport, a tense situation unfolded when Afghan security forces caught someone trying to smuggle explosives inside a musical instrument. This dramatic scene at Herat Airport revealed the suspect's plan to carry the explosives onto a flight to Kabul. Authorities swiftly prevented what could have been a serious incident during the flight. The suspect's motives and connections were unclear, prompting questions about airport security. The arrest shocked everyone at the terminal and showed how terrorism is a constant danger. What they discover is unexpected, a huge stash of seafood. But here's the catch. The fish is spoiled and infested with maggots. Despite this, the system flags her luggage for a man briskly walked past the security checkpoint, brushing off the calls for him to halt. He seemed determined, paying no mind to the growing urgency in the voices around him. Onlookers nearby couldn't help but watch, intrigued.
Stop, sir! Stop, sir! I don't want to pay you, sir! You need to stop!
The security officer had to act fast. He aimed and fired his taser. The crackling sound of electricity filled the air. Everyone watched as the man fell to the ground, shaking from the shock.
Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Turn around and face down!
A man arrived in Australia, excited for a holiday adventure with his son, planning to go fishing together. At the security checkpoint, a security officer pulled his bag aside, unzipped it, and froze.
The keen fisherman has packed various pieces of equipment that biosecurity officer Andrew needs to inspect closely.
What's in this container?
In the quiet airport lobby, the officer's expression turned serious. He sternly explained the strict rules about bringing live animals into the country. The man looked scared and apologized, saying he didn't know the rules.
Finds a suspicious package. A packet full of one of the highest biosecurity risks.
So these are alive. What is this?
But not knowing wasn't an excuse. He faced a swift and hefty fine of $340. As he walked away, his joyful holiday mood faded, replaced by the sharp sting of an expensive lesson learned at customs. At Gimhae Airport, a South African woman was detained for attempting to enter South Korea with marijuana. She allegedly fled South Africa on October 12th. She was discovered in possession of 18 kilos of the narcotic, which is prohibited there, according to the authorities. The estimated value of the marijuana is $1.6 million. The individual she meant to sell the drugs to is currently being sought by the prosecution.
From South Africa on October 12th, she was caught smuggling 18 kilograms of the substance that's illegal in the nation. It will be worth around $1.6 million.
Customs officers at Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi detained 2 Indian nationals found with 45 firearms. According to the National Security Guard, a counter-terrorism unit investigating the case, the weapons appear fully functional. The Customs Department intercepted a diplomatic parcel at the UAE consulate in Kerala, discovering gold concealed inside iron pipes.
Show that. കാണിക്കോ?
A traveler named Paul finds himself in a tough spot as customs officers discover suspicious packages hidden in his luggage, which are about to be x-rayed. When asked, Paul explains that a friend packed the bag, not him. He mentions placing his clothing on his bed, but his friend hid something at the bottom. The x-ray reveals dense organic material inside the statues in his suitcase, which test positive for traces of cocaine.
You can smell the paint on it, can't you? Where's the concealment? Where did you get the statues from?
Precious statues were
The customs team was sorting through leftover bags that passengers had abandoned when an officer came across a bag filled with coffee beans, but noticed something odd. The coffee looks normal initially, but he finds something unusual. White powder inside the beans when he opens it. Coffee should be brown, not white.
When passengers leave bags, we gotta go through them, make sure there's nothing illegal.
Depending on the day, you can get...
As they continue cutting open more of the beans, they discover that the white substance is present throughout. The officer remains cautious, knowing they must test the material to confirm what it is. After running the test, it came back positive for cocaine hydrochloride, pure cocaine with no other substances mixed in. The officers then weigh the cocaine, and it's a total of 3.51 kilos.
Well, coffee is supposed to be brown, right? Coffee is not.
6 people were detained by the Chennai Airport Customs Department in less than 2 days for trying to smuggle gold and foreign currencies into India. Illegal guns were found concealed inside a speaker that was being transported to Trinidad by CBP authorities. The officers searched and discovered multiple handguns, a magazine holding 30 rounds, and what looked to be a miniature AK-47. Accessories such as grips were also included with the weapons. Although smugglers frequently use false identities, the officers are unsure of the intended receiver, but this was a successful bust.
I appreciate you carrying the heavy stuff. So when it comes to firearms...
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Nigeria was on high alert at Lagos Airport. Their officers were focused on a suspicious man, carefully watching him as they gathered information.
My name is
The man appeared nervous and was sweating, trying hard to blend in with the crowd, but the officers never took their eyes off him. Later, after intense questioning, he finally admitted that he had swallowed 90 pellets filled with cocaine. He was visibly shaken as he confessed, knowing the gravity of what he had done. The officers kept a close watch on him, making sure he stayed under constant observation. It wasn't until he was in their custody for a while that the dangerous drugs were expelled from his body, one by one. The officers made sure every single pellet was safely recovered.
79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90.
On this day, while Nigeria's airport officials were sniffing out shadows in suitcases, they apprehended a suspect at Lagos Airport. Using the X-ray scanner, they discovered that the suspect had swallowed the drugs before his journey.
You have gone for excursion. Have you gone for excursion? Is this the first or second excursion?
A video that has since been widely shared shows the suspect admitting to his crimes. After being caught, the trafficker excreted 90 pellets of cocaine while in custody. In a desperate attempt to avoid severe punishment, the man claimed that this was his first time committing such a crime, hoping the authorities would be more lenient. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Nigeria intercepted a businessman from Spain who was caught trying to smuggle heroin at Abuja Airport. The man, named Sharif Egbo Ali, had swallowed 93 pellets of heroin in an attempt to hide them.
Ali Sharif, what do you do for a living? Where do you work?
He was planning to board an Air France flight to Paris on October 21, 2023, but was stopped by the authorities before he could get on the plane. Initially claiming to be a factory worker at a chicken slaughterhouse in Spain, Ali's cover was blown when a body scan revealed suspicious objects in his stomach.
The previous period money. How much? 3,000 what? 3,000 US.
Despite a clean initial search, the agency maintained its suspicions and detained the suspect. After several hours under observation, Ali excreted 93 pellets of heroin, weighing a total of 2.222 kilograms.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The Hajj is a sacred Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca, meant to be a time for spiritual renewal and a deeper connection with one's faith. Unfortunately, in recent years, there have been growing reports of people attempting to misuse this holy journey to carry out illegal activities. On June 5, 2024, officers from the NDLEA in Lagos, Nigeria, arrested 4 people who were preparing to go on the Hajj in Saudi Arabia. The officers learned that these people were consuming wrapped pellets to carry cocaine before flying to the Holy Land. In this video, 2 suspects counted their pellet intake.
81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 100.
In total, 200 pellets of cocaine weighing 2.20 kilograms were found in the 2 rooms where the suspects had been staying. Customs intercept a smuggling operation when they find a cleverly hidden expensive substance. The customs officer stops a passenger traveling from Muscat to Mumbai after the X-ray machine scans a strange package in his bag. The officer checks the package. The item is sealed between 2 layers of cardboard in a toy box. The smuggled item is gold dust that weighs 430 grams. This would have been smuggled into the country if it hadn't been intercepted. The officers searched, finding 2 dangerous and disturbing things in the bag. The passenger's luggage was put in the X-ray machine, revealing a wriggling live thing inside it. Customs check the package and find a python. They also find a rare species of lizard in a sealed plastic box. The officers return the other approved items to the luggage. The passenger had hidden the snake and lizard underneath the other packages to hide them. They confiscate the snake and lizard. The passenger ticks off the officers with his attitude. They find a sizable amount of a wet substance. The officers intercepted a passenger's luggage after they saw how nervous he was. They feel something weird in the clothes in his luggage. So, they cut open one of the clothes. After opening it, the officer finds a gold paste hidden between the layers of the trousers. The whole inside of the trousers has been coated with gold paste. Extracting and measuring the paste shows it weighs 283 grams. It is seized. The customs officers were vigilant enough to intercept a smuggling operation, posing as a seemingly innocent business. Customs officers search a bag, seeing nuts inside. The X-ray machine had shown them it's not just nuts in the pods. They begin to open the pod and find tightly sealed items inside. The officer unties the binding around the item. He opens the wrap and shows it to be a foreign currency about to be smuggled into the country. Another officer throws out biscuits and cookies, pulling out money from them. A woman leaving India was stopped as the officers saw what he had on her. A woman is caught in an airport in India with several wedding invite cards. They find this strange and decide to inspect them. They take out the invites inside the card and open the cardboard covering. Soon, they pull out a sealed leather bag with cocaine weighing 43 grams. They find another pack of cocaine on the other leaflet of the cardboard. They expect to find the same thing in other cards.
43 into 120 times per unit. 120.
A passenger conceals valuables in an unexpected place. The passenger is bringing in new shoe wear into the country. The customs officers feel an abnormal weight in some of them. They cut open a slipper to bring out what's concealed inside it. They find 2 gold bars hidden in the slipper. Another officer begins checking the second slipper. After cutting open the second slipper, he finds a gold bar inside it. The passenger was ordered to reveal what he was hiding and had to do it. The man is cutting open a pair of jeans due to a suspicion from customs that he is hiding something. After cutting open one side of the jeans, he sees a gold paste sealed between the layers of the fabric. He cuts a different side of the jeans. He pulls out a stash of gold dust hidden in his jeans and lays it on the table. The gold is worth about $30,000. The passenger was trying to leave the country quickly, but what he hid in his bag frightened the customs. The officer sees a moving object in the X-ray and brings the bag to a secure room. He opens the bag and immediately sees a quiet infant looking up at him. The baby is buried under other items in the bag. The officer takes them out and lifts the baby out of the bag. The baby was kidnapped by the passenger and was arrested after this. A career criminal who had been charged with murder less than a month earlier was sentenced to 22 years in prison after a brutal attack that left a woman permanently blinded in her right eye. The attack occurred at the Howard Beach JFK Airport Station on September 20th, 2022.
To everyone that never gave up on me or my case and tried to get the justice I needed, thank you. Thank you very much.
The assailant, 44-year-old Wahid Foster, still faces charges in the Bronx for allegedly strangling his girlfriend to death on August 6, 2022, for which he was charged in April of last year. Foster has a long history of violent offenses, dating back to his teenage years, including an incident where he beat his 82-year-old grandmother over money at the age of 14. In 2010, he also stabbed a woman in the face while at a mental institution. Due to the trauma from the assault at the subway station, the recent victim couldn't bring herself to face Foster in court. In a written statement, she expressed how the experience had caused immense emotional pain and memories she's struggling to forget. Foster remains held at Rikers Island without bail for the murder case and is scheduled to appear in court again on July 24th.
I'm scared. I try to overcome all the negative comments and try to be strong, especially for me and my children and the other women out there. Thank you very much.
An aircraft marshal stepped in to protect the flight crew after an unhappy group of passengers reacted poorly to an unexpected detour that caused the plane to land at a different airport. The marshal's presence helped ensure the safety and calm of the crew during this tense situation. A man carrying a loaded gun attempted to flee from TSA agents at a New York airport, but his escape was short-lived. A quick-acting security guard swiftly closed in on him and successfully tackled him, ending the pursuit. Newly released body cam footage reveals the arrest of former Syracuse basketball player Brendan Paul, accused of being a drug mule for hip-hop mogul P. Diddy. Paul was taken into custody on Monday at Miami Airport, where officers placed him in handcuffs. He now faces 2 serious felony charges. This arrest follows police raids on Diddy's homes in both Los Angeles and Miami, where authorities were investigating suspected illegal activities. According to reports, Paul was allegedly caught transporting illicit substances, including cocaine and marijuana. Colombian police released footage of when they arrested a 41-year-old Dominican man wanted by Spain under an Interpol red notice. The suspect, who is believed to be the leader of a major drug trafficking organization, was captured at Bogota Airport. His arrest was part of an operation supported by Interpol and the El Pacto 2.0 program, which aims to combat organized crime in Latin America. The man is now facing serious charges related to his alleged role in the drug trade. Colombian authorities worked closely with international agencies to track down and detain him, marking a significant success in their ongoing efforts to tackle drug trafficking networks. Oceanside police have released footage showing how unusual behavior helped uncover drugs on a plane that made an emergency landing on SR-76. Both the passenger and the pilot were taken into custody, and the DEA is now involved in the investigation. In the video, the assistant chief explains the events that led to the discovery of the drugs. The police believe the suspicious actions of those on board prompted them to investigate further, resulting in this significant drug find. This incident highlights the ongoing efforts of law enforcement to combat drug trafficking in the area.
Approximately 1 kilo of suspected cocaine in the backpack that was discarded.
In Nigeria, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency uncovered illegal drugs hidden inside packs of cereal at Murtala Muhammad Airport in Lagos. Australian border security officers stopped a man who they suspected was carrying illegal substances. The man's passport showed that he had just returned from Vietnam. Inside his luggage, the officers found some Asian products that looked like herbal remedies.
Nothing of concern is found in the man's suitcase, so officers' attention turns to the blue plastic bag he's carrying.
The man seemed to realize he might get caught, so he pretended to be sick. Although he had some medicine in his luggage, it didn't seem like he was really ill. It looked more like he was faking it. At one point, while the officers were running tests, they suggested he take some of his medication, but he hesitated.
Even further.
We did an iron scan and the result is positive.
When the test results came back, the officers had to break open some of the products, and it became clear they contained drugs. Further testing confirmed that the products had ephedrine inside, which is a substance often used to make illegal drugs.
Inside is a white powder, so this then needs to be tested further.
The suspicious powder will now undergo secondary testing.
The passenger looked nervous, so officers watched him closely. His luggage raised red flags after an X-ray scan showed something suspicious. Officers also found it odd that he hadn't eaten after a long flight.
It's sauce. It's sauce. This one's open already.
When they checked his luggage, they found something strange inside. When asked what it was, he said that his brother had given it to him.
When I'm happy that there's nothing here of concern to us, then I can let you go.
But this passenger won't be going anywhere just yet.
It turned out to be another case of catching a drug mule at the airport. He had to face justice after the officers found drugs in his possession and took him into custody.
Do the frisk here, or would you like to go to a private room? Okay, no worries. Frisk here.
A frisk search will check for any concealments on his body. Meanwhile,
when this man arrived at the checkpoint, he appeared shaky and nervous. At the customs desk, the officers asked him to open his luggage for inspection. He seemed a bit sweaty and panicked as he did so. The officers checked his bags but didn't find anything at first. However, he struggled to repack his luggage, which made the officers even more suspicious.
for his nervousness is because there may be a in his suitcase, but the case is now empty, and as it's put through the X-ray...
While he was repacking, the officers decided to take a closer look. This time they... Do I love it by the sensors that he has drugs on him?
All clear, and the passenger can't repack it fast enough. But officers aren't completely satisfied just yet.
The man was taken into custody for further examination, and the officers used a warrant to pinpoint exactly where the narcotics were hidden. He will most likely face court soon.
A second swab is taken, this time from the man's backpack, and if it's positive, they'll have to step up the investigation.
An American traveler from Los Angeles was stopped and questioned by customs officers because his recent travels seemed suspicious. Before his flight to the U.S., he had visited a South American country. He claimed that it was just a stopover on the way, but his travel history showed otherwise. He had actually stayed there for a while. This raised red flags for the officers.
Would you like a chair? Or
the chair would be nice if that's possible.
Yeah, we can get that. Yeah, okay.
Officers are concerned that the man's nervous behavior could be an indication that he is carrying.
The man began to panic, looking nervous and disheveled, which only made the officers more suspicious. When they couldn't find anything unusual in his luggage, they decided to question him further. Under pressure, he finally confessed that he was carrying drugs inside his body.
So I'm going to ask you straight up now, have you got any in your bags or on your person?
Not in my bag.
Okay, on your person?
You did.
That was an admission?
Things got tense after his confession. Though he admitted to smuggling drugs, he was reluctant to cooperate fully with the officers as they explained the procedures for safely removing the narcotics from his body.
It's a positive reaction from the detector dog.
So, mate, you're right to take a seat, mate.
The passenger's health now becomes a top.
A traveler from New Zealand approached the customs desk with an unusual calmness that caught the officer's attention. Most people seemed a bit nervous in these situations, but this man appeared completely relaxed. As his luggage passed through inspection without any issues, the officer noticed something odd.
Doesn't mean there's nothing in there, but yeah, nothing at the moment.
The first swab test was negative, but after...
The man's bags were filled with carefully wrapped items, which made the officer suspicious. Curious, the officer decided to take a closer look. Hidden deep within the luggage were wrapped packages with a street value of $1,500,000.
And layers of plastic. A swab is taken, and this test result is what the officers expected.
This is the end result of the NIC test.
The traveler's calm attitude quickly vanished when he realized the serious trouble he was in. He was immediately detained for further investigation and now faces serious charges.
Sample of the substance in the bottom of this, and as you can see by the colour, green means which is what's here, and that's as green as you're going to get.
This man knew he was in trouble as he arrived back in Australia. He was living in Australia but took a short trip to Thailand. Despite it being a brief trip, his luggage was unusually heavy, which made the officer on duty suspicious. So they decided to unpack his bags to find out why he was so anxious.
He's become very nervous, he's sweating, he's unable to construct sentences, he's unable to give us answers to the questions. He appears very, very nervous.
Would you like some more water?
During the search, they found around 25 boxes of different medicines. When asked about it, the man explained that he was helping a doctor he knew. He claimed that he bought the medicines to sell them back to the doctor without making any profit. But as they continued searching, they discovered more unusual items.
Everything seems to be $100 or $150. That's a lot of trouble.
But the thing is
for $100 or $150.
Yeah, but you assume me to sell just like per tablet, but I don't sell per tablets anyway.
Inside one of the boxes, they found some bottles of mouthwash. Some of the bottles were normal, but others had a strange color. The man admitted that he had mixed urine with the mouthwash. When they asked who the mouthwash was for, he said it was for a friend named Zach. However, they couldn't find any contact information for Zach on his phone, and the man couldn't provide any other details about him.
You bring 40-odd litres of liquid.
That's for the cleaning company anyway.
His bizarre claim that he's carrying an unusually large number of mouthwash bottles for...
Altogether, the illegal contraband he was carrying added up to about 35 liters. The man was arrested and sentenced to 4 years and 6 months in prison. As the man told his story at the border desk, Officer Natalie's intuition intensified. An innocent talk about a Vietnam vacation rapidly became a tangle of paradoxes.
This? Is it yours?
Yeah, that's mine.
What's not yours? The food?
Yeah, it was.
Natalie questioned whether he owned something. He claimed it was his, but when she asked about the food, he hesitated and stated that a friend put it there.
Who put this in there?
My friend.
Your friend. Do you know what's in here? The rest?
Natalie suspected something was up, so she asked if his friend had packed everything, even his clothes. The man anxiously confirmed, but each question increased his uncertainty. Natalie requested a drug detection dog due to his anxiousness. Everyone tensed up as the dog sniffed the pastries. After pausing, the dog sat down, signaling.
Call in a drug detector dog. If he smells drugs, the dog will sit.
When the man realized he was caught, gave up. The authorities took him into custody and handed him over to the police, who began questioning him and started their investigation.
The man is taken to a private interview room, and officers conduct secondary tests to confirm the swab results.
The global trade of tobacco, especially the movement of tobacco products from China, has a big impact on the international tobacco market. One day, at an airport, a Chinese man carrying a bag seemed very nervous. As his bag was about to go through the X-ray scanner, the officer noticed something unusual on the screen.
The X-ray today, and I can see that we already need to open up his bags and have a look. There's a lot of organic material here. Brought our attention that he keeps moving his water bottle around.
The man's anxiety grew as the officer became suspicious. The officer then asked the man some questions, noticing that he was starting to panic. As the officer began questioning the man about the contents of his bag, the man seemed distracted and kept trying to take a phone call.
No phone, no phone, no phone, no phone. Sir, no telephone.
After some time, the man finally cooperated, and it was discovered that he was trying to smuggle tobacco into Australia from China.
Oh, wow. In the water bottle, he's got concealment of seeds. This is why when this gentleman presented to us today, he was very, very protected of the water bottle.
A passenger coming into India conceals a risky item in his luggage. The customs have a hard time getting it out. Delhi Customs stops a passenger who arrives at the airport when his luggage is flagged by the X-ray machine. They search his luggage, bringing out a soft plastic box containing the contraband item. The item is dismantled, revealing several cylindrical gold pieces hidden in the metallic pipe belt pulley. The gold weighs 932 grams, which is valued at $2,000. The passenger is arrested under Indian customs law. A passenger returning to India plans to get money from what he's smuggling. The smuggler had to be stopped. A passenger arriving from Bangkok tries smuggling 2 endangered cuscus native to Thailand into Chennai, India. The officers catch the passenger with these animals concealed when he checks in his baggage through the X-ray. The cuscus are promptly deported to Thailand. The passenger is arrested for smuggling the species. A passenger carried loads of suspicious kitchenware that raised suspicion. Customs investigated and found shocking items concealed. The officers pull out a wet paste concealed in a tray. The Bengaluru customs officers stop the passenger after profiling the passenger, carrying in suspicious items into the country. He pulls out the gold paste. His fellow officer also drops one on the table. He takes off the paper glued to the paste. Another officer goes through the remaining contents in the passenger's luggage. The female passenger thought to use her helplessness to pass customs with contraband. The customs officer looks through a woman's clothing after noticing her weird posture, which raises their suspicion. She feels something strange in the woman's bra. She uses scissors to cut the threads of the custom-stitched sports bra. She pulls out a sealed item in the bra and sets it aside. She then pulls out the padding of the bra to be sure nothing is hidden. The sealed object is a gold paste worth $20,000. Customs confiscate it.